Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Michael Annan and today I'm going to be showing you my complaint management system web app, just the front end, it's only front end. As you can see on my screen, I have over here the code for the application. First of all, I'm going to show you the web app itself before we enter into the code. Right, I'm hosting it on local server, and this is how it works. So let's say this is the complaint title. Alright, let's say I want to write a complaint. The school term is too short as the title of my complaint, and I in the field I fill the form. That's I type my complaint over here, as you can see, showing you to prompt you to do so. In the required field, this both the title and then the complaint place are required fields. So you type what you want to your complaint here. Then I'm done with my complaint and then I submit it. Right, submitted complaint. The school term is too short, as you can see at the title. It has the complaints down there and it has a date of submission, and as you can see, today's date is the 16th of January 2026. So there is a clear button over here, as you can see, in case you have too many submitted complaints and you want to clear. I mean, this app is not really ready for mainstream usage, but it's a beginning app I've developed on my own, with very little help from AI, and I'm really proud of it. So we're going to go into the code right here. You see, we're going to code the code right here, and I'm going to start with the HTML code, the index HTML code. This is how I arrange my files in it. The complaint app, right, in the folder with the index.html file, the JavaScript file, and then the style sheet file. I've linked the style sheet file over here, to the CSS file, and I've also linked the JavaScript file down here. The code is very simple. The code is very short. I mean, for the HTML part, it's very short. Even for the JavaScript part, it's also very short. There's no backend involved in this. All complaints are stored in the local storage, which I'll show you in the code. That allows it that even if the app is closed or the web app is closed and open again next time, to go back to local storage to fetch the complaints and display them again. Right, so maybe probably next time I'll put a login system so that people who have complaints can complain on one side and the administration can see the complaint on the other side and get back to it. But that's for another day. So as you can see over here, the HTML code is here. Right, the H1 element shows the complaint management app title. Right, I mean, the form is here with the form ID. Right, let's remember that the form has each section or each element that is really relevant has an ID. So you can see over here, form has an ID of form, complaint form. Then it has the input for the title. It has the ID title, and then for the text area it has description. Right, then the button for submit has a submit type button, and you can see over there the form. That's the form itself. That's the form. Then we have an H2 element showing the submitted complaints. We're separating the two sections, the complaint itself and then the submitted complaints. Maybe I should add something to it. I think I'll add an H2 element. an h2 element. So that will contain something like submit or enter your complaint here. Okay, then that will be the h2 done. So I'm going to save that so it appear over here. So enter your complaints here, right? I think that's okay. I mean, it's not really in the form. Let me try and put that in the form itself, so that x cut, paste, save. All right, it's right there. Now enter your complaints here. Right. I think that makes it more better. Yeah. So the div element is over the div element is over here. That contains like I've done a comment over here. All the complaints that you see in the local storage will be displayed here. So once the complaint is entered, it takes the complaint, stores in the local storage, right, and then refreshes the page to output there, and then goes for that file, right. It's stored in the JSON file, right. It go back for that file, reads that file, and starts to display the complaints individually. And I'll show you that in the JavaScript, the backend. I mean, the JavaScript side of the front end. And as you can see over here, the different get elements by ID. So that's to access, the different parts of the HTML, right? And this form, the form variable being filled with the complaint form, title input, title, description input, description, complaint leads, the complaint leads, and then the clear button, right? And then I'll show you the code later on. So now, first of all, let me show you this right here. Now, this is the thing, or this is the special code that gets the info installed in the JSON file, right? So I'm going to show it you briefly. So now this is a function, I mean a variable, right, which stores the variable inputted in this. So that the first variable, the title variable, stores the complaint title, right. So the value inside title input, which I've already declared over here. So this variable over here is being reassigned to this title, and then the description input is being reassigned to the description. It's being assigned to description, and those variables are being seen in the complaint object, right? So that you don't have to code again. We have created the object for complaint, and that complaint is the title, description, and date. So that's what gives the complaint the type. As you can see, I mentioned before, the JSON file, right? So it says because the complaint variable is a changing variable, I use let instead of constant, right? And the complaints, not complaint, complaints variable changes. So this one is object. Anytime the complaint object is called, which I called here, right? So it does. This is what it's supposed to do. This is the complaint object being called here, right? I believe so. And as it's being called, it's being pushed into the complaints, and it's being stored in the JSON file, right? So if it looks into a JSON file and no JSON file, try to get the item complaint, or it returns an empty array. If there's no file over there, if there's no information in the JSON file, it returns an empty array. If there is, it leaves out the array and stuff. So this code, right, stores the complaints. This code stores the complaint, in a JSON file, right? And when it's done, the title input or value is being changed to an empty space, so it's empty, right? So you see that after you submit your complaint, you don't want your complaint to still be there. You want it to be cleared, to go away. Then I created an object. That's an object function, right? A function called display complaint. So this function is what displays the complaint in the submitted complaint part. So what this one does is that it says no. Okay, so the function begins by setting the complaint list, right? The div that I get the ID complaint list, it sets it to empty. Then it lets the complaints, it goes to get the complaints, or the JSON file that has the complaints inside, right? And for each complaint in the complaints, right, the function is called, has been directed, is using the complaint object. It's what creating an element, right, storing it in the div. So as it's being stored in the div, it's stored in the div variable. Then the div variable is being aligned to the div in the inner HTML, the HTML itself. Then it's being assigned. So as you can see over here, it's assigning an H3 element with the title, with the contents of the complaint title, a paragraph element with the contents of the complaint description, and then the small, that's the date over there, the complaint date, right? And then then it shows it over there. Now let me come to the other part of the other function over here, right? Now this function, it's listening for a click. Whenever a clear button is clicked, right, the local storage, there's an item being removed from there, from the JSON file, right? It's called complaints, and then it refreshes, displays the complaint. Every time an action is done, it displays the contents of complaint. So I think that's how it works, right? So now I can show you, now I think if I show you this, you understand basically what it does. So I'm going to show you one more time, just one more time, and like I said, the school year was very short, very short here, very short. And my complaint is that we started too early. When I say too early, the people who watch this video will probably understand what I mean. Who are in the same school or in educational facility. I'm in Ghana Telecom, and the school is very great. Thumbs up. Then he said too early, we rushed. But I'm happy. But I am happy. Then now you understand what's going on. So when the submit button is clicked, right, as you can see over here, the form function is looking for No, it's having an event listener. That's name. I don't know what that's even called. What's it? It's a method, right? Method. Beautiful. I've learned something new. So that method, right, causes the submit. Is listening for the time for a time when the submit is being triggered. The moment it's triggered, an event happens, right? The first event that happens is that it prevents the whole screen from refreshing. Then it goes ahead to store the information to check if there's information right there. To assign it to title, description. So as you can see, the information right. So what's going to happen is that if I click submit, the information will be stored into the title variable, the description variable right here, and then here. And then when it is stored, right, those same variables are in, are being assigned to title and description objects. Why did I do it that way? Let me try something and see if it will work. If this works, I'm really excited. Let me see if this will work. I'm going to copy this, cut this, right? And I'm going to assign it directly and see what happens. It's because outside of this, let's try to see. So, because it was not that way at first. So, title inputs. If that works, I'll be so happy. If there's a reason why it is wrong, please show in the comment section why it is wrong or something like that. If it works in the first, if it doesn't work, I'll just change the code back. I'll save the code, right? And then let's try it. The school term short. Just write short school term. There, right? The term was short, but I am happy, right? And I think if I submit it, it should work. Ooh, it didn't work. Why? Why object? Why object? Why object? Well, it did not work. I don't look for that. The reason why it doesn't work for now. I mean, that is, I just saved a couple of times. Why? What does constants? Okay, so there are properties of the properties of the distance. So that might be a reason why maybe JavaScript can't read properties. Does that make sense? It's only hard code. Oh well, we move. So probably I'll cut the third part out, right? But I'll leave it just for the fun of it, so that when my friends are watching this, they'll be laughing or something. Yes, I'm having fun with what I'm doing. That's what I can do. So let's save that. Let's clear the complaints from here. Let's have a new complaint. Short term, right? Sorry for being sidetracked over there, right? And then the term was really short. Amazing. Then we're going to submit that. Like I said, it has been submitted. And it's being displayed right over there. I think this video has been long enough. Right? Some of these things you probably will not see it. Even the funny things I think that will enter this video, you'll probably see it. Well, and that's it. So there's submitted complaints, right? So as you can see over there, the term, short term was too short. You can see the date right there, right? And if the complaints are getting a lot, I don't like it. I'll just clear it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you, Mr. Shaibu, for the opportunity to have this video recorded. If you get this far, I'm Sasha Ibu. If you can please, I would really appreciate it if you give me a like. If you enjoyed the video, and a comment like, maybe you can do better or something. Who knows? God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.